We have some valuable coins for you, so don't spend one of them. So watch our complete video and find your treasure. This coin could make you rich overnight. Top 1 today, we're diving into a truly iconic piece of American history, the United States bicentennial quarter, minted in 1776 to 1976. This coin, while often overlooked, could be worth far more than its face value. Stick with us as we explore the history, design, and value of this legendary coin. By the end of this video, you'll be amazed at what this seemingly ordinary quarter could be worth today. The year 1776 holds a special place in American history. It's the year the United States declared its independence, marking the beginning of a new nation. Fast forward 200 years to 1976, when the U.S. celebrated its bicentennial, the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. To commemorate this monumental event, the U.S. Mint issued a special series of coins, including the bicentennial quarter, which was produced only in 1975 and 1976. These coins were designed to honor the country's rich history and the milestone of its independence. The bicentennial quarter, minted in 1976, is one of the most iconic coins in American numismatics. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find an intricate design that features a drummer from the Continental Army. The drummer is depicted marching forward with a sense of pride and determination, symbolizing the spirit of the American Revolution. This design was meant to evoke feelings of patriotism and honor the contributions of those who fought for the birth of the nation. One of the most striking features of the bicentennial quarter is the inscription 1776 to 1976, marking the 200th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. The design was created by renowned artist Jack Lahr, and it was chosen through a national competition. The obverse side of the coin still features the familiar portrait of George Washington, which has been in use since 1932, but with a slightly modified appearance for the bicentennial issue. These quarters were issued in both regular circulation and as special proof sets, which were sold directly to collectors. The regular circulation quarters were minted in large numbers, making them widely available at the time, but as time passed, many of these coins began to show signs of wear and damage due to frequent use in daily transactions. However, the proof sets, which were made with a much higher quality finish, are much rarer and more valuable today. And now, let's talk about why this particular quarter could be worth far more than you might think. While the bicentennial quarter is not rare in the strictest sense, its value depends on several factors, including the coin's condition and any unique features it might possess. A coin that has been carefully preserved, free from scratches or heavy circulation wear, is far more valuable to collectors than one that has been passed around in daily transactions. The value of a standard bicentennial quarter in average circulated condition is relatively low, usually around its face value or slightly above. However, if you manage to find one that is in pristine, uncirculated condition or one that has been graded as a high-quality specimen, you could be in for a surprising discovery. But wait, there's more. Some bicentennial quarters are particularly rare due to unique minting errors. These errors could include off-center strikes, double dies, or even misprints on the coin's design. These rare variants can drastically increase the coin's value, with collectors willing to pay a premium for such one-of-a-kind pieces. If you happen to find a quarter with one of these minting errors, you could be holding a treasure that's worth far more than the typical bicentennial coin. And now, the moment you've been waiting for: how much is this coin really worth? If you have an uncirculated, high-grade 1776 to 1976 bicentennial quarter, or even better, one with a rare minting error, it could be worth an impressive $55,000. That's right, $55,000 for a single quarter. It might seem hard to believe that something so small and seemingly insignificant could hold so much value, but that's the magic of rare coins. They hold pieces of history and stories that many of us overlook, and if you're lucky enough to have one of these coins in top condition or with a unique flaw, it could change your life. So, if you've got a stash of old quarters or if you happen to come across one of these historic coins, make sure to check its condition. With the right care and attention, it could be worth a small fortune. We hope you enjoyed this look at the United States bicentennial quarter and its incredible value. Top 2, we've got a real treat for you as we explore a piece of U.S. currency that many may overlook, the 1979 United States quarter dollar. At first glance, this coin might seem like any other, but if you dig a little deeper, you'll discover that it could be worth more than you ever imagined. Stick around until the end, and we'll reveal just how much this 1979 quarter dollar could fetch today. Let's start by taking a trip back in time to 1979. The world was a different place back then. The US was in the midst of the Carter administration, and the economy was going through some challenges, including high inflation and energy crises. It was a time of change and uncertainty, and the nation's coins, including the quarter dollar, reflected this era in subtle ways. This coin was part of a series that was minted from 1932 onward, but by 1979, the design had been slightly altered, featuring George Washington on the obverse side. His image was first used in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth, and it remains a fixture on the quarter to this day. The reverse side of the 1979 quarter features the familiar eagle perched on a branch, representing freedom and strength. While these designs are iconic and beautiful, there's something more to this coin than meets the eye. The key to its value lies in its rarity and condition. The United States Mint produced millions of quarters every year, but as with many coins, the survival rate of those that remain in pristine condition is relatively low. Over time, most quarters were circulated and saw daily use, which led to wear and tear that can significantly affect their value. Coins with scratches, dents, or fading details are typically worth only face value, or a little more to collectors who appreciate vintage pieces. However, some 1979 quarter dollars were never used. These are the coins that were either kept in perfect condition or stored away and forgotten about. Uncirculated coins, or those that have been well preserved, are far rarer than you might think, and they are highly sought after by collectors. In fact, if you happen to have one of these pristine 1979 quarters in your collection, you could be sitting on a small fortune. But that's not all. There's more to these coins than just their condition. What truly makes the 1979 quarter dollar stand out is the presence of a rare and unique minting error. Some 1979 quarters were struck with a double die, meaning that the design was mistakenly stamped twice on the coin, creating a noticeable doubling effect in the lettering and details. These error coins are incredibly rare and are often considered one of the most valuable finds in coin collecting. A 1979 quarter with a double die can command attention from numismatists, dealers, and collectors alike, and it's exactly the kind of coin that can dramatically increase in value. Now, let's get to the exciting part: the value of the 1979 United States quarter dollar. If you happen to find a 1979 quarter dollar in uncirculated condition, or, even better, one with the coveted double die error, you could potentially sell it for a staggering amount. In fact, the value of such a coin can reach up to $50,000, that's right, $50,000. Who would have thought that a simple coin from 1979 could be worth so much? If you happen to have one of these rare gems lying around in your collection, now is the time to take a closer look. You might just have a valuable treasure in your hands, waiting to be uncovered. So, the next time you come across a 1979 quarter, don't just dismiss it as another coin. Take a moment to inspect its condition, check for any minting errors, and see if it could be one of those rare, valuable pieces that coin collectors dream of owning. And who knows? You might just strike it rich. Top 3. We're going to talk about a coin that might be sitting quietly in your collection or even tucked away in an old jar of change. It's a coin that might not seem special at first glance, but could be worth more than you ever imagined. Yes, I'm talking about the United States 1993 D quarter. And now, most of us are familiar with the classic quarter design, whether it's the George Washington face, the eagle on the reverse, or the more modern state-themed quarters. But did you know that certain versions of the 1993 D quarter could be worth thousands of dollars? It's hard to believe, right? But this is the exciting world of coin collecting, where small details and rare finds can turn ordinary coins into extraordinary treasures. Let's start by understanding the background of the 1993 D quarter. The United States Mint produced this quarter in 1993 as part of its regular circulation. It was struck at the Denver Mint, indicated by the D mint mark on the coin. During that year, millions of these quarters were made for everyday transactions. Like most modern coins, it was designed to be used, spent, and exchanged in daily life. However, over time, collectors began to notice something very interesting about some of these 1993 D quarters. In the world of coin collecting, rarity and condition are everything. While many 1993 D quarters were released into circulation and eventually spent or worn down, a small number of these coins managed to avoid significant damage and remain in excellent condition. As time went on, these coins became highly sought after by collectors because of their unique attributes. But what makes the 1993 D quarter so special? The key to this coin's value lies in a fascinating and rare error that occurred during its minting process. Some of the 1993 D quarters were struck with a special die that resulted in a noticeable flaw. The error involves a unique doubling of the coin's design, specifically on the obverse, where the inscriptions and image of George Washington appear more than once. This is known as die doubling, and it occurs when the die used to stamp the design onto the coin is misaligned, causing the details to appear doubled or out of focus. Now, why does this matter to collectors? Well, error coins are some of the most coveted items in the numismatic world. The rarity of these mistakes, combined with the uniqueness of each error, makes them highly valuable. In the case of the 1993 D quarter with the die doubling error, only a very limited number were produced. And because this error was so subtle, most of the coins went unnoticed for years, circulating without much fanfare. As a result, the 1993 D quarter with this particular error is considered a hidden gem in the coin collecting community. If you happen to come across one of these error coins, you may be holding something worth far more than face value, but how much more, you ask? Well, the 1993 D quarter with this rare error can fetch a staggering price. In fact, if you're fortunate enough to have one of these coins in excellent, uncirculated condition, it could be worth a jaw-dropping amount. The value of these error quarters can vary based on their condition, with uncirculated or near-mint examples commanding the highest prices. However, a well-preserved 1993 D quarter with die doubling has been known to sell for an incredible $45,000. Yes, you heard that right, $45,000 for a single quarter. It's amazing to think that a coin that was once used to buy a candy bar or a cup of coffee could now hold such incredible value. But this is the magic of rare coins, where a simple mistake during the minting process can turn an ordinary piece of currency into a collector's dream. So, if you have a collection of quarters from the 1990s, or even if you have a random jar of loose change, it's worth taking a second look at your 1993 D quarters. Pay close attention to the details, particularly the obverse side, and see if you can spot the die doubling error. If you find one, you might be holding onto a small fortune. It's always a good idea to have your rare coins professionally evaluated by an expert, especially if you think you found something valuable. A certified coin dealer or numismatic expert can help determine the authenticity and condition of your coin, and if it turns out to be a genuine error coin, you could be looking at a significant payday. To wrap things up, coin collecting is about more than just finding rare pieces. It's about understanding the history, the artistry, and the unique stories behind each coin. And with the 1993 D quarter, you not only have a piece of US currency, but a snapshot of a moment in history, where a small minting error turned into a treasure. So, next time you're out hunting for coins or sorting through your collection,